Hey guys, it's me, Cherry Darling. I'm back again this week with another video for y'all. And this week's topic is going to be on Saturn return. So, in my very first video, I talked a lot about all of the things that happened to me that led to my spiritual awakening, right? So it's, there was a lot of changes. There was a lot of things uh, crumbling basically around me. And, if you are experiencing some of these things and you're within the age range that we're going to talk about, then you might also be going through your Saturn return. So, first of all, if you haven't heard about Saturn return, let me just explain that is when the planet Saturn comes back to meet your natal Saturn, which means that Saturn has returned to the position that it was in on the day and time that you were born. This usually takes about 29 and a half years. And all of these things that I did, I got from a quick Google search. Thank goodness for Google, right? It usually hits in the late 20s and can be felt into the early 30s. So I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the 27 Club. Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix. I think Jim Morrison from The Doors. A lot of those people passed away when they were 27, and they call it the 27 Club. And sometimes if you think about it, maybe they were also in their Saturn return, and bad things, or things were happening to them, and most of them, a lot of them died of overdoses and things like that. So I know in my Saturn return, I was drinking really heavily, and I don't drink anymore. I will occasionally if it's like a social thing, but it's really, I think the last time I drank anything was 3-4 months ago. Partly because I'm in my mid-30s now and my body can't hang anymore. I can't handle all that like I used to. So Saturn is known as the great teacher planet in astrology. So when you are in your Saturn return, Saturn is teaching you a lot, and you're going to be learning a lot. So basically, if you're in between the ages of like 27 and like 30, 31, 32, and you're having a lot of things that you may view as bad happening to you, or maybe things are getting shook up and there's major changes happening in your life, it's probably due to your Saturn return. Things such as harsh life lessons, major growth. I know in mine, when I turned, this was 2015 and it's 2021, so it's 6 years ago, and I'm 34 right now. Y'all don't make me do math. That's like the most simple math ever, but my brain, anytime I think of numbers, my brain is like, no, bitch. So 28. I was 28 when me and my ex-husband split up, and I had spent a big chunk of my life being a stay-at-home mom, right? Housewife. And I thought that that's what, growing up, I thought that that's what my life was supposed to be about. I thought I was just supposed to be a mom and stay at home and raise kids and be a wife. And I called myself old school. And I was very much in the ideology that my husband was supposed to go to work, and I was supposed to cook for him and do all the laundry and, just be the house bitch, basically, is what I think about it now when I look back. And when I was 29, all of that crumbled. It all crumbled. Think about, when you think about Saturn return, if you are into tarot or if you know tarot at all, think about the Tower card. Everything crumbling, collapsing around you. That is Saturn return. It basically shakes up the foundation of our lives, exposes all of our weak points and immaturities. And that is definitely what it did for me. I was very immature. Looking back, 6 years, it may sound like a long time, but now that I look back, it really doesn't seem like that long. And I am such a different person now than I was back then. I couldn't even, I remember one time, like right after me and my husband split and everything felt basically crumbled around me, I was hanging out with my cousins and we were drinking because, like I said, I was really into alcohol then because of all the things that were happening to me in my life. I couldn't cope. I didn't know how to handle it without numbing myself. And I couldn't even open my own beer bottle. I had to ask my girl cousin, who was 6 months younger than me, to open my beer bottle. And she said, you know what she said to me, y'all? She said, nope, you can do it yourself. You can do it. And she didn't say it to be mean. She said it like, come on, bitch. You can, you can get this done. You don't need somebody to do everything for you, because that's what I thought life was supposed to be. I was so used to my ex-husband doing a lot of things for me, helping me with the kids, helping me do this and that and this and that. And so now, since then, I have been forced basically to do everything on my own. Okay? I raised these kids on my own. I'm not completely on my own. I have my family to help me out occasionally and when I need them, but I live by myself with them. So, when I had my daughter and she was a newborn, I had my two older sons and I remember this was about 3 years ago. She was a newborn. I had her on my boob. She was breastfeeding. And then my sons were like, it was after dinner that I had cooked, basically while she was nursing. And both of my kids were like, Mom, I need help with my homework. And I was like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do this? With, I've got a baby on my boob. I wish there was somebody here that I could get to help me with this. When not a nobody, y'all. Not a nobody was there to help me. And so, you know what? I did it because I had no other option. So I had one arm with a baby on my boob, and the other arm I was helping my sons with their homework, right? So to go from not even being able to open a beer bottle to breastfeeding while doing homework for two other kids, that's a change. That is some growth. That is some major growth. Okay, so my Saturn return really, I've went from housewife to being a single mom, which was something that I honestly was scared of when I was married. I would look on social media and I would be like, oh my gosh, all these moms doing it on their own. How do they do that? That's scary, to have to be able to have to go and leave your kids at a babysitter because you don't have a significant other to watch the kids for you while you go work or do something. That scared me. And after my Saturn return, I was forced to do, and I'm still doing these things. I have to leave them and I'm lucky enough to have family members that help me watch them, when I have to go to work and whatnot. But still, like I had dedicated my life to staying home with them. My mom did that for me and my sister when we were younger. And so I always thought, this is what I want to do for my kids too. And now I have to go to work. I have to go to work so I can pay the bills. I was forced to move out of the home that I had made for me and my kids and my ex-husband and move to a completely different town, 3 hours away from my hometown my hometown that I had lived in basically my entire life. I had to start a whole new life in a whole new place. I had to move in with my grandma, share one bedroom with all with, well, the two of my kids at the time. Uh, and, I had never had my own car. Well, I had, but it was always with the help of other people, like boyfriends or whatever, before I met my ex-husband. But I moved up here. I got two jobs, and I hadn't worked in close to 10 years at that time. So I had two jobs because I was trying to support me and my kids and get us enough money to get out of the one bedroom that we were living in. And I had to get my own car in my own name. I remember paying my own bills again for the first time, and how good it felt to be self-sufficient, because I had depended on my ex-husband to pay the bills. I never had to pay a bill. He was really good at, he was a Virgo. He is a Virgo. So one thing that he was really good at was being responsible and paying the bills on time, and I never had to worry about any of that. I got an allowance, which now that I look back, at the time I was like, oh, hell yeah, I get money too, and I don't gotta work. Now I look back and I'm like, no, I could never go back to that. And I never will go back to that, because at that point I didn't know what it was to be able to make my own money, to pay my own bills, to raise my own kids. And now I do. And now I have that sense of independence. So Saturn return sucked, and it was hardcore. And but now I wouldn't change it. When I look back on it, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was painful. It was very painful. I was forced to, like I said, I was drinking a lot. I got in trouble, and I lost my job that I had down there. I had a really good job with the city, and I lost my job, and that's why I had to move up here. And when I got in trouble, I took that as a sign from God, the universe, whatever, that it was time for me to stop drinking and partying, because I basically was forced to. I was forced to, because I was, honestly, you guys, I'm going to be honest, I was on probation, and I couldn't drink and I couldn't party. So, I don't know if the universe or Saturn or whoever knew that at that time I didn't have a lot of willpower and strength, and that I wouldn't have stopped if it wasn't for getting in trouble the way that I did. So, it was very painful. There was a lot of crying. Lots of crying. Also, I'm a Cancer. So, my whole life there's always been a lot of crying. But in this time, it was more. It was more than normal. And I met my daughter's father, and that relationship brought up a lot that I didn't know that I was still holding on to, but at that time I had been through so much already that I was strong enough to be able to leave a shitty situation with him. And I had to move back in with my grandma, which I'm sure I've already said in another one of my videos, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but we had to move back into the one bedroom again. And after that, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I don't need, because from the time I left my ex-husband, I thought I was, badass single mom, independent woman, getting it on my own, not even having to worry about anybody. But at the same time, I still felt lonely. I still felt a hole within myself that I was trying to fill with trying to get validation and love from other people. And that was when I met my daughter's father. And I thought that he was going to fill that hole up for me. And then it turned out, nope, he sure didn't, which is not how it works. It doesn't work like that. You have to be able to learn how to fill your own void, okay? And so that's the lesson I learned from him. And after that, I was able to get my place here. And I'm here now. And I'm here now making this YouTube video to tell you guys about the lessons that I have learned, right? That Saturn return forced me to learn in a very hard, jarring, earth-shaking kind of way. So looking back at my notes, from good old Google. Saturn takes things away that have outgrown their usefulness and brings things that will have more longevity. So me being a housewife, it wasn't, and no offense to any housewives out there. I'm not knocking being a housewife. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. I wasn't happy. I felt like a prisoner, honestly. But I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know how to change it because I thought that's the way my life was supposed to be. And then here comes Saturn, and Saturn is like, no. It brought things to me that will have more longevity, teaching me how to be more independent, teaching me that I don't have to depend on people. I don't have to look to other people for validation and to fill up my void. Saturn asks you to know yourself in ways that you haven't so far. So up until your 29th, about 27, 28, 29th year, you think that you know because you're getting out of your 20s, but really most people don't, and that's what Saturn does when Saturn comes along. It sheds light on things within you. I had no idea. When I was 28, 29 years old, if I were to see myself now, I would have been shocked as hell. I would have been like, what? I can do that? I can be like that? Oh my God. It's a time of coming into alignment with your true life's path. Okay? So since I got back on my feet up here, since I was determined and focused on getting my own place and focusing on my kids, I have been so blessed and lucky enough to start being involved in my community. There's a volunteer opportunity with my local library that I've been throwing myself into because I love the library. And doing that has helped me meet so many people. I joined the Chamber of Commerce, as a representative of the library, and going to those meetings has boosted my confidence so much. I never thought that I would be able to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, right? I was so insecure back then. And sometimes I still have my days where I am insecure still. But for the most part, I'm going to the meetings. I'm talking to people at the meetings. I'm meeting these people in the town. And now I'm having another opportunity to be on a commissioner of another board in my community. So, when I was 27, I would have never thought ever that I would be a commissioner of anything. I would have never, because I was so insecure. I was so immature, and now my life has changed dramatically. I'm 34 years old now, so I think I'm out of my Saturn return. I hope. I'm pretty sure I am, but things are a lot better now than what they were during that time for me. So if you are going through that in your life, just know that it gets better. It gets so much better. Just make sure that you remember the lessons that Saturn and the universe is trying to teach you. Okay? Just remember that they're lessons. They're lessons. You can get through them and you will have better days. You will come out stronger and more fierce. I am way more fierce. Okay? So I think that's about all that I had for Saturn, the topic of Saturn return. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that it was help. Why can't I talk? I drank coffee like an hour ago. I think my tongue is trying to go faster than what my brain can think. Sorry. I hope that it was helpful for y'all. I hope that y'all learned from some of this. And like I said, a lot of it is stuff that I got basically from Google. All these things that I've learned so far, I've learned from Google. I've learned from finding different resources on Facebook and Instagram, and thank God for this technology. We are so lucky to live in an age where we have all the wisdom that we could want at our fingertips. It's amazing. Use it. Educate yourself, because you can. You're strong and you are smart. No matter what you think about yourself or what anybody tells you, you are, and you can learn and grow. I did it. You can do it. So I hope that you guys have had a good day today. I know I'm uploading this kind of late, and I hope that y'all have a really good rest of your week, and I will see y'all back here next time. Bye bye, guys.